Former Assistant Director, Internal Security of the State Security Service, Mr. Adams Abu, He joins us now from Houston, Texas. Thank you very much, Mr. Abu, for joining us this morning. I'm sure you've been listening to this conversation for a while. I don't know what your own take is, being a former Assistant Director, Internal Affairs of the SSS. He mentioned a number of policies, one of them crime prevention, which I think is one of the things that the SSS was supposed to perform as a function. What's your take on, how do you react to some of these things?
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I think the issue here is the crime prevention strategy, the national crime prevention strategy that national security agencies are supposed to implement and ensure the safety of Nigerians. All this while had broken down if they were in existence. Let me take us back to the Shagari era. At that time, the police was being properly provided for in terms of logistics and even other security agencies. But when the military came, those equipment were converted to the military. The police was somehow degraded, so to say. And ever since then, it has been up and down arrangement for the police for them to perform. Now, the major thing I've always said is that how many of us as Nigerians are committed to the security of this country. We have seen that most Nigerians these days are concerned about their regional arrangements and all the like, and not really about Nigeria as a nation. I think what we should do now is for the government to address those issues of political injustice, economic downturn, that have made Nigerians not to believe in Nigeria to contribute. I've always said, if the nation, if the citizens are focused, this country will be able to deal with its security challenges. And is this even a situation that is affecting the fighting forces? If you see, very many times you see our security forces posting video on social media, they are not being taken care of, we are here sovereign, no weapon, no food. Those are demoralizing effects on the fighting forces, and it has not been helping our matters. I think we need to address some of the national issues, and then government at the same time should look at the architecture, like by involving so many, practitioners in this fight. I give you a typical example. Retired security personnel, even if you have a private security company, whatever is your level, as I sit down here today, I am not entitled to be seen with any form of arm. Even notwithstanding all my training, my practice, and all the like. So I think we need to address some of the fundamental issues. Study what other nations have been doing, and they are getting everybody involved in providing security for their nation. I want to believe that when we do this, we'll get to where we want to go.
Say that we need to perhaps have a national approach to security in the country. And you referenced the fact that a lot of people are just taking the regional approach to it. But how do you factor in the fact that regions have their peculiarity when it comes to insecurity? What applies in the Northeast is different from what we see in the Northwest, the South, and other regions. So don't you think this is why we also need to take the regional approach to security in the country?
Let me clarify this. Even the regional approach, the state approach, I mean, the involvement of states and local government are things that long before now should have been spelled out. You see, the approaches now being taken, you can see the hue and cry, the fact that state governments have not legislated, the fact that we are not supposed to have a regional approach because we are practicing federalism and all the like. It's because these policies are not there. Yeah, by now, we are supposed to know. Several times I've asked before that even the National Assembly is not helping matters. Because before now, even as at now, every commitment of state government to security in their state, whatever they provided for the security agencies within their area, is just a kind of Father Christmas. There is no national policy whereby state government, this is what you are supposed to provide for the police, this is what you are supposed to provide for the army, or local government. If a local government chairman gives the DPO or SSS chief in the local government maybe 50,000 to fuel, they think they are doing them favor. It's because there is no policy that spells out what they are supposed to do, what they are not supposed to do. These are issues we are supposed to have addressed before now, and I think if we address it now, it's not late. It's supposed to spell out the neighborhood watch. Maybe it's the local government that is supposed to finance them, supervised by the police or the civil defense. These are policies that are supposed to be placed with proper legislation. If this were there, the idea of every state now, I heard in the review, North Central, they are talking about quarterly meeting. Quarterly meeting, how does that translate? The quarterly meeting of governors, how is it going to translate into providing adequate security by engaging the necessary people within the system or operatives to do what they are supposed to do to ensure the safety for us? So everything is supposed to be arranged to everybody to know his role. If we had not done this all along, even the Amateku we are talking about wouldn't have been something that is new to us as a nation.
Well, Abu Adams, former Assistant Director, Internal Security, State Security Service, thank you very much for joining us all the way from Houston, Texas, via Skype.